comments. Coach, if you can start with the opening comment, please.
All right, we now get ready to play a rematch game, I guess, the second of a home-and-home series with Missouri. And that's, of course, the two states that touch each other. And Missouri been playing real well. They actually were up in games, and like what took place with South Carolina, you know, you have a lead and it evaporates. But the thing about basketball, and I don't think people understand it, basketball is a game of runs. And sometimes the early lead sometimes can be misleading. You know, teams are going to make a run on you. And the key is, especially when you play on the road, you got to be in the hunt. You got to hang around and give yourself a chance to win. But with the invention of the three-point line and, you know, teams playing with the shot clock, you erase those leads real quick. But Missouri, again, just like us, a young basketball team, had some guys that was missing against A&M, led that game by 12, I think, at halftime. So we know it's going to be a physical basketball team that rebound the basketball well defensively. Coach Martin does a great job with them. The Geis kid is the one that, I think he's the head of that basketball team. So I'm anxious to see how we respond after a tough loss to a South Carolina team that I thought, you know, they did what they supposed to do at the home court. They took care of business. So, but we got to get that out of our system. 8 games left, and we're still in contention. You know, there's still a conference championship at stake. So we move forward.
You know, Mike, you talked about Mizzou being a little short-handed. You know, Mark Smith hadn't played since he got hurt here, and I guess he's questionable. Tillman didn't play because he got wisdom teeth pulled. Just how do you prepare for a team when you're not sure maybe who's going to play, and do you expect those guys to play? What do you expect from Missouri when they're short-handed?
I expect those guys to play. The team that played here, that led us, I think it was up 17-4 here in a tough ball game here. And so I expect those guys to play, and so that's how we're going to prepare.
If they can't play, how do you think that impacts Missouri?
It don't impact it. I mean, it's still, you know, everybody got basketball players that, you know, those guys are on scholarship. They're good players. They're playing at home, and it's amazing sometimes when you don't have some guys, those guys have an opportunity to step up and shine.
Was Jafford, was he under the weather at all? Was it all just kind of mental, just bad game the other day? Just what do you look for him?
I don't think he played his best. I didn't think, you know, I think he didn't match the physicality. When the physicality took place, he got those fouls, and I think maybe it just kind of went from there. His rhythm wasn't there. You can see his rhythm wasn't there. So we expect, you know, a better performance from that.
Well, Mike, I didn't see this, but at the game, I was there. I was sitting up kind of high. I read somewhere like on television, it was maybe you and Daniel had some words when he came out after he got in the early foul trouble. What happened with that?
That was no words. No words. Probably more frustration for Daniel more than anything else, but no words.
And then, you know, I think it was the Missouri game where he didn't have any fouls. And then since then, it seems like he's gotten in foul trouble a lot. Kind of, how do you know, get the foul reductions?
I think he's got to figure it out. I think, you know, Daniel's been really good this year about, you know, obviously it was a problem last year, and he's been really good about it this year. And I think it has a lot to do with position, you know, getting your feet and getting in the right spot, and just moving your feet. You know, they give you the verticality. You got length, using his length. He's done that really well this year. And sometimes, you know, you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. When you get the conference play, obviously people are coming at him, you know, offensively and defensively, and he's got to figure that out on the floor in terms of gauging when to and when not to go and block a shot or just play position defense.
Yes, defensively, y'all have played so much better recently, and then kind of had those lapses late against South Carolina. Just kind of what did the tape show then, and what you had to do against Missouri?
Nate, really, I thought the first half was probably the best defense we played. I mean, we were just, I thought our defense was tenacious. We was touching ball, we was active, we was in lane, loose balls, rebounding the basketball. We made it difficult for Silva to score, which is, you know, their bread and butter guy. And they made some shots early on. So, and then we came out, and I thought the tempo, we had, you know, our defense dictated the tempo. It was up tempo. I thought when they made their run at us, I thought when we didn't get the stops, we stopped pushing the basketball. And a lot of times, you know, your energy comes when you score a bucket, and it revs up your defense. But I thought we just kind of started walking the ball up the floor, and then it became a tempo that favored South Carolina. I mean, it's a tight game with less than 3 minutes to go. I mean, we're right where we want to be. But at that point in time, I thought they took advantage of the momentum and couldn't make any plays going down the stretch, whether it be defense or offense, and that's where they got a chance to take advantage of the game.
I know it's not the first, it's not gonna be the last, the quick turnaround, Saturday, Tuesday, both on the road. How do you get your young team kind of used to that grind of maybe just one night in their own bed before they go back out?
It's been happening, it seemed like for the last, 3-4 weeks, I guess. So I guess that's how you get used to it. I mean, we've been doing it, and but at the same time, you got to tailor your practices. Like yesterday, we came in and we got a chance to get some shots up, watch some film, shot free throws, and then today we'll get at it for about 45-50 minutes before we take off and go up to Missouri. So I think we got to really manage their time from a resting standpoint, and that's, to me, it's the learning curve of a team. You know, whether it be young, old, inexperienced, experienced, you got to take care of your body, and I think that's been the message to our guys. You got to take care of your body, away from the gym when you're not, under our supervision. How are you taking care? Are you eating right, or are you getting the proper rest? So it's important because the energy is so important this time of year. The energy and the execution. I talk about energy and execution all the time. In order to do that, you got to have your focus. You got to be rested. So.
And Coach, you mentioned energy and execution right there. What have you seen from your team in the last couple games that's helped them get off to better starts at the beginning?
I think we're coming out with actually, we talked about the game plan. I think we're coming out with executing the game plan. We're coming out starting with our defense. I think our defense has really picked up. If you go back, even from the Tennessee game or the Missouri game, I think our defense is now causing havoc, and I think it's getting us into a rhythm offensively. But more importantly, I think we're trying to start the game from the standpoint of inside out. We're getting teams in foul trouble starting off, and so that means we're playing a little more brand of the attack basketball that we're accustomed to. We want to attack you offensively and defensively, and when we do that, I think our team plays a lot to its potential. And of course, when you go on the road, you got to make some shots too. And but I just think from the standpoint of just having an understanding going in, what is our strategy? What is our advantage? Let's take advantage of it. And we do a good job of it at times, and sometimes we don't.
Yeah, Mike, you guys forced a lot of turnovers against Mizzou here, and you create a lot of offense off that. Is that something you think you can do on the road as well, or how do you feel about doing that against them again?
I think that's what we've been doing. I mean, you think about the LSU game, I thought we shot the ball well, but I thought the defense was really good, create some turnovers. We did at South Carolina. It just seemed like we're getting in a much better rhythm defensively. And it's not even just from the turnovers. I mean, it's just making stops and getting the tempo, getting up and down the floor, pushing the basketball. We had back-to-back steals, I think, in the game to start off against South Carolina, where Adriel steals it, back to Mason, and then he touches again. Now he gives it to Daniel, who turns around and gives it to Mason again. So again, it's the DNA of this team is defense, and I think our guys are understanding that a little bit more now. So, and I'm sure Missouri's going to work on taking care of the basketball, but it won't change for what we do. We still want to be an up-tempo team.
Now we're talking about Daniel having an off game, but like to define graphic here with I guess Daniel's one of 5 guys averaging shooting over 6%, averaging over 15 and over 8. What do you think of that? I mean, he's had a pretty good season.
Daniel's having a great season. I think Daniel's having a great season. I mean, just think about where he was, last year to where he is right now, and he's on the top of everybody's scouting report. And so when you look at what's returning with this basketball team, he was the focal point of what was coming back. And now we've added some pieces around him, and guess what? because he's the focal point, those guys are the beneficiary. You've seen a guy like Isaiah, one of the top 3-point shooting guys in the country. Mason Jones, he's shown his impact. The assist totals for a guy like Jalen Harris. I mean, so those guys are the recipients of let's say, Daniel drawing a lot of attention. And so in spite of that, you know, you look at what he's done, I think his production has gone up from last year.
And Isaiah's, I guess, 1-3 away from tying the freshman record here. Obviously, he's gonna break it at some point, probably Tuesday night. Just how do you feel about his 3-point shoot?
It's critical to our basketball success. You know, we gotta have some guys to knock shots down because they're putting 2 and 3 guys on Daniel. And so those guys gotta knock shots down to make the defense honest.
You kind of hit on this in your opening, but you know, Missouri's had trouble, you know, holding some leads. Maybe the other night they had a 10-point lead, you had a 10-point lead. I was watching Ole Miss and A&M the other night, and Ole Miss was up by like 13, and A&M went up by 9, then Ole Miss ended up winning. I mean, is that just, you think people focus too much on their team when it's probably happening in a lot of games all over the place?
It always has. I mean, if you watch basketball, it always has. You think about even the games we've had games where we've been 16 points down, and we'll come back up and go up, and you know, that's a lot of time in basketball. I mean, I think we had a 13-point lead at South Carolina with 14 minutes, 15 minutes ago. That's a lifetime in basketball. That's a lot of time, and so I guess you know it's at the end when you want to be ahead. That's the biggest key there. You know, obviously, you want to build on those leads, but I think if you just watch college basketball all around the country, you know, there are some teams that are a classic would be Tennessee. You know, they're a very experienced team. You know, and I can recall them at the same stage where they were in games where they'd be up and then the other team would run back up on them. And so it's called learning how to win, I guess. Learn how to win and then learn how to finish. I think that's the biggest key.
Anything else for Coach?
All right. Thank you, guys.